Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is our mini tactical debrief, just reflecting on last night, really. But we will go in depth on a couple of areas that I've spotted that I was impressed with. If you are new to the channel, make sure you are subscribing, smash the likes. Let's try and have around 700 likes on this one, and most importantly, comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. So we're in uncharted territory, guys. We are reflecting on a victory in round 5 of the FA Cup, which has led us into the quarter-finals, which is pretty big because we are now one game away from Wembley, and we went through a couple of seasons where we were there sort of all the time, and we haven't been there for a while, so it would be really nice to get back to Wembley. Last night was a good game. It was a solid performance from Villa. It was utter domination and control from Villa, which was, as a Villa fan, good to watch. Could have scored more, should have scored more, but it is what it is. Cardiff were never going to come and open up and try and play through us because they just don't have the quality. So for them to go in at 0-0 was a really good first half performance. Bodies on the line, organisation, sort of spreading the width of the 18-yard box, doubling up on Rashford, semi-doubling up on Bailey, allowing that sort of right-hand side to have a little bit more space as they shuffle across. And it was quite difficult to break them down, exactly as you'd expect when there's 11 players behind the ball that are coming to just stay in the game for as long as possible. And what have you got to do? You've got to remain patient, and the goal will come. And that's exactly what happened for Aston Villa. Whether that goal came in the 90th minute or the first minute or the 45th minute, you've got to stick to the plan, and we was able to do that. And I think that's probably one of the biggest elements from this game that I was really happy with, that we stuck to it. We limited them to they had that chance where we sort of reacted in the second half where they put the cross in and the Martinez save. But apart from that, it was really solid from Villa. We was able to recycle and keep possession by staying in our shape. And the second goal came, and that was the end of it. So I think it was just good that we was able to keep the clean sheet. I think that was absolutely massive. I think everybody would have been fuming if we'd have conceded, especially with how the game was going on. So that gives the back line a little bit of confidence. And I really hate this sort of narrative in football that you can play against a team like Cardiff and you're expected to absolutely batter them 5-0. And I just don't like it, because I think, you've got to put respect on Cardiff. They're not a pub team. They're a championship team. They are a team that have been in the Premier League. They have to be respected, and every team that you come up against in every competition has to be respected. And that's why I always say that we have to do our job, and you have to sort of give every team respect, because they could hit one from the halfway line and fluke it and go in, or hit one from distance. And so you've just got to respect them and just make sure you're doing your job properly. And we was able to get the victory. So there was a couple of things that really impressed me. And the first one was kind of tactical, which I liked. And And don't get me wrong, there would be an element in this game where Emery is just tweaking something. He's not just gonna go out and even though it's an FA Cup game, there will be a tactical tweak because he spoke about Villa beating a low block. So I think this was part of his tactical makeup last night of what he really wanted us to do. So I've gone to the tactical pad, and the area that I'm talking about is this area here, and a certain player picking up that position, and that player is Maatsen going into that area there. And what it enables us to do is it enables us to get 6 players across the front line when you're playing against this low block. And what it enables us to do is have Maatsen dropping into this little pocket through here. You've got Watkins, you've then got Asensio, you've then got Bailey, you've got an overlap, and you've got 6 players now across that front line. What you need with that is defensive cover. And what we saw was a little box. Now, the box was made up of Bogard, Konsa, McGinn, and Yuri. And those were the defensive solid, like we were just, that was where our solid shape was. So we was able to just camp in their half. And when we have a look in a second at the average positions, basically every Villa player is camped in their half. So by having that, you need to make sure that you are solid at the back. So these two here have to be very, very solid, but they have to be able to pick up that player in that second half that was sort of playing up top and follow him around. And you saw a couple of times there was a couple of long balls and Conser had to deal with it. So they have to be very, very focused. But that double pivot there, that has to be making sure that he's totally solid. It was a little bit loose first half, especially from Tielemans. But I thought McGinn had a real solid game. So that was just really solid. And I thought it was really good from Villa. And I just feel like that sort of like forward line from Villa was flexible. So you can see that Rashford is high and wide, offering width. And then you've got Garcia that can be in and around this area. Bailey offering the width. Asensio pocketing, moving around. And to be fair, it's not really Watkins' game, was it? Last night, it wasn't really necessarily to his strengths because there's not a lot of running, there's not a lot of pressing. His chances were sort of like flash chances where there's no real conviction there with where the ball came to him. So what I'm trying to say is the ball's not sort of like come to him and he's took a strike. It's sort of like a little ball over. It's like a nick. It's like a flash. I think a flash is a good word to describe it. If we had someone like Duran, then hold up, drop a bit, strike from distance. It's probably the more that type of game I felt leading the line. So that was something tactically that I thought I saw. So next up, what we can have a look at is the average positions from Villa, and it'll show you a little bit more about kind of what I was talking about just. So if we have a little look then at, you've got your 2 central defenders who are very high in the opposition half. You've got your double pivot who are in front of the 2 centre halves. And then 22, just have a look at where that heat map gets a little bit more red in that sort of inside number 10 role. And that's something that I was impressed with. And I remember when we signed Maatsen and I spoke about how he can play inside, he can play in that midfield area. He played there for Dortmund. So this is something that I would like to see a little bit more because I think this is where you get the best out of Maatsen. Now, this isn't just being reactionary to this game and saying he's played in midfield once for Villa and dropped inside. This is where he was playing for Dortmund. So we have spoke about this on the channel before. And when he was driving forward on that sort of like Alan Hutton-esque run, I think that was just before where the goal came from as well. So good performance for Maatsen attacking. You've got your width out wide from Rashford. You've got width out wide again from Bailey and Garcia. Asensio, and then we've got Watkins. I mean, Watkins is heat up there. Literally like in the 18-yard box, isn't he? So that shows sort of like the tail of the game. And then you've got the average positions from Cardiff, like not a player that's gone outside of their own half. And we've kind of got Bogard in our half, but apart from that. But there is something else that is very, very good. And the reading is good from a Villa point of view. And it's our passing stats. Now, there's only one player that has got passing accuracy less than 85%, which for a game where you're thinking we've had to play quite a lot of incisive passes, we've had to play not safe passes, we've had to play stuff that cannot just be sideways backwards. It shows that we were able to utilise the ball really well. So the player that has got less than 85 is Watkins with 60. So we've got Asensio, 86, Rashford, 85, McGinn, 97, Bailey, 88, Bogard, 96, Tielemans, 91, Konsa, 98, Maatsen, 95, Garcia, 96, Martinez, 85, Ramsey, 100, he came on late, Rogers, 75, he came on late. We've got Gimoa, 100, and Luka Dean, 100. So that's good reading. We've got Asensio with 1 big chance created. Rashford, 2 big chances created. Bailey, 1 big chance created. And Watkins, 1 big chance created. We've got Rashford, 2 big chances missed. Watkins, 2 big chances missed. Yeah, I really want a Rashford goal. So those are good numbers as well. We've then got the momentum bar from the game as well. So from a Villa point of view, totally dominant. We've then got 5 big chances for Villa, 25 shots, 12 corners. They had none, which, again, an underrated aspect of our performance is that we limited them to no corners. We've got 604 passes. We have got here 87% final third passes were accurate. 17% of our crosses accurate. We've got 100% of our tackles were won. 73% successful dribbles. 58% aerials. 46% ground duels were won. So, a good night, and we got the job done, which is the most important part of last night. No slip-ups, no messing about. Get into the next round. Let's see who we get. Let's tackle it and go forward. Team selection was a little bit, comparing the two from Tuesday to last night. Still a bit weird. Sorry, still a little bit weird, guys, because it's just a bit weird, isn't it? Like, we went so far at the back and no Asensio, no Rashford. And then just one of them, I guess. But just one of them. But I've got to say, Asensio striking of the ball, so silky, so smooth, so calm. 4 goals in his last 2 home games. What a loan signing that is. Rashford looked a massive threat, bit unlucky. Probably should have scored that one, But it's coming, isn't it? It's coming. So we turn our attention to Bruges now. I have no idea what the team's going to be. We'll have to do the predicted lineup and have a good think about it. I would imagine, I'd imagine Asensio starts. Surely, because they're just getting us ticking. They're the game changers. So I thought I'd do this episode today because, probably if I did it, there wouldn't have been one for a few days. And it's good to reflect on it, and it's good to pick out the positives. And there were positives, so we've got to talk about it. We're through to the next round. Really pleasing. Um, shout out to the lads, the lads, the little lads that come up to me and yeah, talk to me. They're cool. It's little chat boxes and the fan cams. Fantastic to see them coming on and stuff. So shout out to those guys. One of them was like, "Will you follow me on TikTok?" And I didn't follow anyone on TikTok. I just didn't. But I thought, do you know what? He was so buzzing, and I was just like, what a little legend. So yeah, so I followed a little lad on TikTok and sort of like he's buzzing about it. So shout out to everyone really. So thank you all for watching. I imagine all the legends of the channel will be watching this one. So I appreciate you all watching it. Comment your thoughts. Enjoy the FA Cup weekend, and let's see who we get. Let's hope there's a couple of upsets. Let's hope Millwall do a job. Let's hope Plymouth do a job. Let's hope there's a couple of upsets in there. So yeah, up the Villa. Speak to you all soon.